All right, guys, let's do a big power clap. One more. All right. How we all doing? We doing? Everybody good? Yes? All right. Our row feels a little barren. So, you guys excited to move on to something different, slightly? Something a little different. How do you guys feel about responses, and packages, and all that kind of stuff, like Vista 5? Covered it pretty well. I think a lot of us are used to it, even though we're not experts. I think it's at least we get the basics of it. That's important. So today is going to be a different challenge. It's going to be something. If you were going to miss any classes, honestly, today would not be a good one, because what we set up today is a foundation for stuff that's really going to be affecting us in the future. I'll get into that in a little bit. So, what we're going to map out today, well, let's start here. I had a whole thing prepared to cover with you guys, but this is one of my favorite times editing codes, because I don't believe that we ever learn anything from successes. You know, I feel like if you get something to work on the first try, you don't really get anything from that as far as like obtaining knowledge, you know. And with programming, we're constant learners, like all the time. I'm always learning something. I was complaining to Christian about this whole new authentication thing that I had to learn. And I've never seen it before. Never used it in 20 years of doing this. I've never seen this type of authentication, knew how to work with it. It was a completely new experience. Like absolutely every piece of what I had to learn was something I've never seen before. And the documentation was very weak. So it was trial and error, trial and error, trial and error, trial and error, trial and error. And finally, I got something to work. And that was like, okay, yeah, so 5, let's go on to the next part. So I think when it comes down to what we're doing is you have to be okay with failing. And that's a hard thing to kind of wrap your head around. I have a friend of mine that's been trying to be a programmer for years and years and years. He's a VA, really successful, but he wants to get into node development, wants to get into PHP development, and he's taking courses, he's doing stuff online, he's done everything that he's trying to do. He's taken classes with St. Thomas, he's been over it, and he's not getting it. And I talked to him the other day, he's like, you know, I don't know what the problem is, I don't get it. He's a scholar, you know, 4.0 GPA, he's really a smart guy. But when it comes to the stuff, he doesn't get it. I think the problem is he doesn't want to fail. He wants it to work the first time and succeed and walk through it and be able to walk away and say, okay, I did that, that's how you do that, no question. And right? And with this, it doesn't work that way. You have to fail, and you have to continually fail. And that's how it works. So when I think of that, I think of Thomas Edison's quote. And I'm just kind of like, that's kind of what we're doing here, right? We got to keep trying stuff until it works. And we shouldn't always be expected to have all the answers. So my other favorite quote is from Be Real, and he says, from Cypress Hill, and he says, how do you know where I'm at when you haven't been where I've been? Do you understand where I'm coming from? Right? And that's a pretty smart quote. What we're covering today is going to be, and then he probably wasn't thinking of constructors and objects, but he might have been. And you know what that means to me is what we're going to be learning, right, is part of something that's been in that's going to be carried on into something else. We're going to learn constructors today, but when we get into other frameworks, constructors kind of go away. But you're not going to know why until you knew where we were at and where we're going to go. Okay, so that's kind of like a bunch of words that don't really mean anything, but so we're going to make sure that we are all masters of JavaScript objects today. We have to be. I want this class to go in on Saturday when we're doing more stuff with objects and constructors and be like the top people. I want Sam to be able to walk around and be like, hey, I got this. Let me fix this problem. I want all of you guys to be able to do it. I want Raymond to be able to help the guy next to him, be like, oh, let me show you how to do it. I really think we can do it, and I think we can be really, really strong at it. And it's really important that we are absolutely, every person in this class is an expert in JavaScript objects. Once we have that solidified, and I'm completely confident that we're all there, then we can move on to a concept called constructors. And then once we get there, and if we have time, I'll get into something called prototype. But for right now, I just want to be really, really strong on objects, really, really strong on constructors, and then we can do some stuff really cool. Today's gonna be fun. We're gonna build like a Tamagotchi thing at the end of the class. We're gonna build like a RPG. We're gonna do all this stuff using constructors and objects. So the content is very technical, and it's a purpose for it, but we'll hopefully do it in a fun enough way that we're all really interested in it. Cool. So, like I said, we all have to be A+ students in JavaScript objects in order for us to move on together. Otherwise, some of us are going to be left behind. Some of us are going to. So it's really important that everybody has a really firm grasp on this, right? So I wrote this little object just to kind of show some of the features that we're going to be using going on through class through constructors and when we get into prototypes. Okay. So I can select this out. Did you select it out? You see my little bird one? I don't know. If you didn't, that's fine. So if we have an object called birds, right? We have a property flying, and we set it to true, right? And we have a property called noise, right? We set it to tweet. Now, what is this called, guys? Boolean, right? What's this? String. What's this here? Yeah. So we created a make noise, right, method. And what's that going to do? What's this? The object, right? Point to. So if I'm saying this line, truth, right? True, then log the noise. What's that going to log? What's this noise going to be? Tweet. So we're going to play with this a little bit. I just want to make sure we all have a very firm grasp of absolutely everything happening here, right? So let's just play with this a second. Oh, you did? Sweet. My tweet? You slacked my tweet? Awesome. Fantastic. I don't think you said that right. All right. Cool. All right. All right. All right. So I changed this code up a little bit just for demonstration purposes. But if I want this bird, I want it to make noise, right? I want to say, what's it going to say? Let's just run it. What's it going to say, guys? If I, right? Oh, sorry. Yeah. All right. Bird says tweet, tweet. Right? How do we get that to do it? Right? It's checking for the condition of this property, right? Using this property, right? As this, it's checking this one is fine, and we're able to apply it, right? What if can I reassign one of these properties? Am I able to do that? Yes, yes, yes. What if I wanted to say something like thank you. That's a good one. All right. What would happen? Would it? Find out. All right. All right, so we're all kind of comfortable with that. How do we feel from like a scale of fist to 5 of understanding how an object works? Honestly, if I see any 4s, I want to honestly I'm gonna recover it because I want this to be super solid. Huh? You're a 4. Okay, no, it's good. I'm glad. It's fun. This is 100% fun. So when we create an object, right? It's just like how we're handling an array, right? It has all these features. We can create new functions. We can create new properties. We can say something like, okay, has wings, right? So if I wanted to say, oh, this reminds me of a sad story. I saw a dead bird on the side of the road. Just remember that. No fly, huh? That's sad. All right. All right. So you can see how it directly correlates to the properties that are inside the object, right? I'm able to change them. I'm able to set them. I'm able to use them. You guys kind of understand what's going on? I can create a whole another one of these dogs, right? Is barking. I can make a function called is yelling at the cat, right? I can call the function in here. I can call the properties in here. I can use all of that, right? So how do we feel now, fist to 5? So if not, please let's ask a question if you don't understand any part of this. It's really important to me that we understand this together. All right, we're good? We're solid?
I think when I switched over to sometimes.
Right. So this is referring to the object that we're currently in, right? So we're in birds. So it's the same birds. If I felt like, let's say I was like, oh, you know what? I got to change the name of this to bird with a Z, right? I'm done. I just have to change my references, right? I don't have this in here. I don't have to change this one. I don't have to change. It's able to. It knows. Okay, this is now birds, right? So it's just kind of a shorthand way of saying like this is the object we're referring to, right? Does that make sense? More questions about that, guys? Yeah.
So if that was outside of the object.
Yes. Yes. I'm sorry. And outside the object, we have to refer to the object itself. And this would not work outside of here because this is actually related to the window. That's it. All right. Any more questions, guys? Yes. It's over this. Yes. That's right. Right? If I created a new function down here and I use this, it would refer to a new object down here. It would only refer to the object that's related to, right? It's within here, right? More questions about that? Yeah.
So when you run this, does it start from there and then when it gets to when does it get bottom?
When does it get to birds?
Like, does it start from the top and then goes?
Yes. Yes. If this, you're saying if this was below it, would it still work? Right. This needs to be defined and declared before we can use it. Does that make sense? Okay. Oh, how do we feel, guys? Cool. All right. So, very first exercise. I think we're ready, and it's really a lot of what we just went over, and it's just going to help solidify this a little bit. Awesome. So can we select out those instructions because there's so many? But we're going to create we're going to make an object, a dog's object with 3 keys. It's going to have a raining property, a second key property called noise, right, with the value of woof, and then it's going to have a third key called make noise, which is actually going to be a method or function, right, which will console log to see if it's raining. So just to make sense of, let's just see what this looks like. Do you have those instructions in there? Okay. Basically, we're going to create 2 objects. One's going to be cats, one's going to be dogs. They're going to have real similar properties inside them. They're both going to have like a make noise method. They're both going to have the same key called raining. It's going to be set to true. There's something set to false. It's going to have a property or same key called noise. The cat's going to be value a string called meow, right? The first object's going to have a second property called string that's a value of woof, right? Then we're going to make the dog bark, okay? Make the cat meow, right? After we wrote those 2 objects, we're going to do that, and then as a bonus, we can do a mass hysteria where we call both if they're both true. So take a look closer at the instructions, if that makes sense. You think we can do it? Okay, there should be nothing new, and today we're not going to be going over any of the stuff that we have in packages or any of that. Today's like solely focused on objects, constructor, and prototype. And feel free to use the birds reference for reference to create the object. The bird. Anybody have a focus on the object created or started? Theoretically, week 11, 11-1. So, the 11-2 on Saturday. And Saturday's supposed to be Monday. Actually, I had a little trouble in like 11-1, but it's a Wednesday. It's a little confusing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of similar, but just that kind of
Yes, please.
Yeah, it should be space. It should. So yeah. All right, guys, I'm going to walk through the exercise on the screen real quick. Feel free to finish up yours or watch up here, whatever works for you. Virginia, how did you do? You all right? You do yours? All right, cool.
You have to like just make sure it shows. Not that file. It's just a syntax for set of objects. It's always a more key value.
Ooh. All right, guys. How are y'all doing? We're all wrapped up. Cool. Two big power claps. All right. So how do we feel about objects now? We've kind of worked with them a little bit. Do we feel like we're pretty proficient with that? Yeah. Feel like we take that on. Okay. Cool. I saw some really good solutions out there. Some even a little more. Some people trying to find some shortcuts, some things that were pretty cool. It's great. So what we're going to learn about next is constructors, right? So what are they? Right? So constructors are functions that can be called upon to create an object with a particular layout. So it's kind of like a blueprint, right? So in a sense, where we were creating a bunch of different types of animals, we were creating cats, we were creating dogs, we were creating birds, we could create a blueprint type constructor called animals, right? What that could contain is different noises that each one of these would make, right? Different features, different functions, and we can even assign new properties outside of that constructor itself. So typically, you'll see how all this will work. So typically the constructor first letter is capitalized, that we are kind of distinguishing it, opposed from a typical object, right? And in order for to create an object using constructor, you would usually initialize a specific variable to hold the new constructor. So in this case, if I had a constructor called flower, I would set the type like sunflower, new flower, right? So this is how you use a constructor. So if I was going to do a constructor called animals, type, I would say var cats equal new animals. And I'd have an animals constructor, just like an object that we've been using, that we can populate with different properties that'll be typical to animals, okay? Kind of show what this means in a second. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my code and we'll kind of see how this works. Bird tweet. Okay, so here I have var dogs, I have var cats. So instead of doing it this way, I'm going to create a new. I'm going to create a constructor. Okay. But were you already playing with constructors before you? Okay, that's right. I was like, I know we haven't learned this yet. And we'll say this is equal to raining. Raining. What's that going to do, guys? Just that first line so far. Right? What does this kind of look like? We have an animal function, right? We're passing something to it as a parameter, right? And what's this doing? Right. So this technically could be anything, right? I could call this raining X and I call this raining X. It doesn't really matter, right? I'm just setting it to whatever that parameter is that's being passed in. Okay. So I don't want to get confused by that. Let me continue on and we'll walk through how this applies. You're gonna like this, promise. This is cool. Plus the next part of this is gonna be really fun. So I'm going to get rid of our dog and cats features here. Okay, so now I'm going to set some variables. I'm going to set first. I'm going to set the dogs, right? Just like we created, right? New animal, and I can set what do I set to it, guys? Yeah, check it out. I think it gets prompted. Set raining. Okay, so I'll set that to true, right? And I'll set the sound, right? Or the noise, right? Ooh, that's it. Now I'm like, okay, well, now I'm going to do cats, right? How's my typing so far? And let's just, you know what? Let's do it this way. All right, and if we wanted to change it, we could change it the same way, right? I could just say cats not raining is equal to true, right? And I could say cats make noise. Well, let's just do it this way. Am I missing anything? I guess I could say, oh, it doesn't matter. Let's just do it this way. Anybody see anything missing? I think that's straight on. All right, let's just rerun this. Let's do this again. Now, whoa. So see how we are? I'm getting weird looks on everybody's faces. Does this make sense? Is that cool or what? Right? We can build all these different things. I was trying to think of a better analogy in my head. I was like, what about cars, right? I can say create a constructor that's cars, and you know, this and that and whatever, you know, and all of that can be set here. What do you think the benefit of this is over just using objects? Less typing, right? That's good. More what? Yeah, it's like super consistent, right? Reusable, largely reusable. Not to mention, if I decided I'm going to add something to this, I don't have to change something in every object that it's doing, right? It's totally less typing. So I could say, oh, well, you know what? Now I'm going to add something else. You know, I can add it right here. Anything I change, I can complete control within now. Where are you guys not engaged? Do you want to try this on your own, or do you want to move on to an exercise? Move on. Right. I said it to false here, and then I said it to true. Yeah. Yeah. Just as an example, I can override it. Yeah, I could write a function that compares the two, and you'd see that, you know, that I'm able to then override that setting or whatever in a sense, right? I can write over it. I can reassign that variable to something else, right? Any more questions about that? You want me to slack out the constructor too? You guys are right. One important thing to know, and I missed this a ton when I was playing with it. Yeah, I was missing recently, but is the new? No, we can't just say. We can't just do this, right? Anything? It's like it's actually we have to assign a new instance of animal in a sense, right? We're creating a new version of it. So this is why it's important. I want to talk about prototype, but I'm going to hold off on a second because I want to make sure we get this super solid. All right, so let me slack this out first, guys. I'm just going to slack it out as code. Do we care? Oh, you just put all the instructions right in there. Nice. Nice, dude. I made it all pretty and everything. All right, there we go. All right, so that's how the construction looks like. All right. All right, moving right on, guys. Let's do character creation. So these instructions are way too big for me to put on the screen. But we're going to create like a simple character and basically kind of the foundation of like an RPG where you have hit points, attacking ability, those kind of things, right? We'll use constructors to build this, right? Where we have like a character constructor that'll have a lot of the same attributes. Ready? Like your game, I was thinking of your project, right? Where we can assign a bunch of different, all the characters will have similar properties and we can use them in many different ways. Does that kind of make sense? You guys with me on that one? Cool. Do you want to select that out? Christian, you got it? Guys, and raise your hand if you want me to go into a little more depth with any of that piece, you know, or anything. When we're doing the exercise, we can talk about it, see why that would work. We'll see why it's awesome. We have like 30 minutes to work on this, so. This depends on how far you want to go with the exercise. Yeah. You can have them basically fight until one of them dies. In the character sense, or you can just have them do like one instance of. You'll see in instructions. So. Yeah, well, feel free to simplify too if you want. The main point of the exercise is to make sure that we understand the concept of constructors, why you can use them, how to use them. So it's just super important we get this super solid. That way on Saturday, you guys are going to be all aces and walk in to be like, constructor. Done. All right. All right, guys, big power clap. We gotta cycle the file, right? Something. Well, that's good. Nice. Nice job, Christian. Yeah. Now let's go. Yeah, take the pity clap. Have fun with this guy's name. Make some funny character names or something. Just should be entertaining me. Okay. So something. Right. Oh really? Oh no, I had a link to the. Yeah, just on the top. Should have been there, wasn't there? It was not. Oh man, I'm sorry, dude. Oh no, really? Yeah, let me just pull the repo. I had this so well planned out. There. Whoa. There's nothing in there either. Huh. I'll resend it to you. I got it in my drive.
Oh, this is like
It will be. That's awesome. Yeah, and or whether or not all that, you know, all probably. Just like yeah.
So what do you like? So like, what do you want to put all on doll? Okay, that was pretty close. You can just that. Just like after you find it, say who's the line. After you find it. Oh, yeah. What's the difference? You were saying you want to show her because I want to make it obvious of all concept. That you want. Oh, yeah, yeah. I know. Right. These are notes. Yeah. I guess. Go. We're just waiting. So it's on the version. Like, yeah, you're right. But just like, yeah. I had to. Okay. Check. That is just that's what I thought. That's a step. Okay, that's picture book for this. Yeah. So I wrote it tires and hockey. So that's how you do it. That's okay. here. Well, I had to. So now, this is yeah, so it goes like down here. But you gotta do these ones actually. Yeah. And now, so these are so now let's just give it not here, so what's this? Yeah, sure. See? Oh, yeah. Oh, right, yeah. That's all. Technically, that's not wrong. Oh, better. Right down. It's a month. Wow, that is crazy. See how it's going here. That's super good. It's interesting how certain things that include things like this actually good tech. I just don't want to need anything without giving you beautiful. Yes. No, we do it right. Yeah, there you go. Good. Like, and I don't believe this. Yeah. I know, I'm waiting. See how this stuff that's not like that. Yeah, not a library. It's just a variable that is just strong. Yeah. Well, before you get rid of that. Back here. Now, it's what happens. Oh, is that? Well, I don't want to try it. Really, if we want to really add some of those features, I think about something like, hey, look, I don't want to have to add a variable on the string label, just like I add on certain something. But except the next part is kind of more challenging. Work on creating multiple character parts. Yeah. But if you want to organize, or that's next piece of it. Another one, and then press that for an after. No, Constructors make sense with that. Maybe you all know they try to do all of that. This looks better. So great. Yeah. Yes. So what your print snap? You're a charmer, so Yeah. Yeah, that's, but you need. That's what the. That's construction. You know what? Yeah. You know, right.
It's just, it's not.
It's not wrong. Yeah. Yeah, when you talk to them, they're just so good. So it's really. So I would go back. Yeah. I would go to sit on him. See what that. See what other people. The next one, seeing it. Yeah, yeah. So now we know that the house is character. This is yes. Yeah, the reasons for bringing this up, yeah, doing it. So, yeah, let's go back. This from, I think you this. Yeah. We're attacking this. Why go ahead? I have my chair. Okay, so
Yeah, you had trauma by itself, right? Reduce. That was way better. Nice. All of it. That's
Yeah.
Oh, it's not. Return. Oh, so the first guy is Oh, sure. Yeah. Probably a typo.
Basically, what it wants You'll be like,
Yeah, that makes sense. 5 times.
Yes. That's exactly right. I think so. I think maybe there's some sort of like type of function that don't
You don't have to. I like that.
you got codes that type of.
generate, so that will allow. The only so when you're going
Okay. After this is right. We're saying. So right now, yes. But right now,
Yeah. Okay, so you No. You're way ahead of
inside of that. That would be the same.
Oh.
Like how hard it is. Right. I get so.
Yes, that's right. So
Yeah, so now I just put damage as they could be helpful, but damage is just how much is left.
Right. So what the damage is how much it costs?
No, that's attacks. Initially, the one that said.
Where is your track? Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not like it's.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you had another element.
No, I help with defense as well.
Okay, now. Sorry.
So, let's do, so he's going to
Damn it, it's just one for me.
okay, so he's helping this. No, no, you're, you're, well, I would, do something. Right? Right, then you're actually, you're assigning a variable to somebody. And that's really That's right. So you understand? You assign one to you never assign this back to this. You're saying hey, damage was and then just damage. That's back. Apply that. They're going through the process. So for it says that okay, well, well, now it doesn't have memory of it. It'll be assigned. So, but if you did something like this. Yeah.
The issue I was having was just putting that number back and then it just starts to already damage the score.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that.
So like if I just so here's the thing.
This is tricky. I'm gonna let you think about that. Okay.
So when I go
Sometimes they say something.
And then go to the bold level.
No, no,
Then I can say.
Right there. Yeah. Absolutely. You're right. I'm kind of the back of that. Yeah, maybe I should. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hope it will be. Yeah, it really is Oh, yeah. Can you? Yeah. That'll be. Depending on how right. That would be, yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, but yeah, you thought. Basically. Yeah, yeah. Oh. Right. Yeah, I'm actually not sure. No, I would but still, if we're talking you can say so briefly of the pretty much yeah. was thinking about how we're and I looked at I don't think that outside of what I would do. What I would do, it was attack. So
I was, that's probably there, so if we pull it out of that.
oh, that's
Safe, like if the cracks are coming outside.
I've actually well, that's what I'm saying.
Split it.
So why don't we do this guy?
Whatever you're looking at it.
Right.
Then, like, by default, you get a repository.
So in this function, I would pass
So by default, that's
right? So maybe the character two, so I'm gonna have a character one.
So variable.
Well, no, as far as the ground.
So
So we can use this as send it around. Yeah, so this go out. Yeah. And now, okay, so now you have blend. Yeah. And now.
Oh shoot, actually. Guys, real quick, big power clap. How we all doing so far? Are we on 55? How many got the bonus done? Okay, good. Awesome, guys. I feel like we're doing a really strong hold of it. Feel free to keep working on it if you want to, but I would like everybody to kind of take a break and just for 15 minutes and come back to it. We're going to kind of continue on with the constructor stuff and do a different exercise and really solidify it. But anyway, I like this quote too. Many of life's failures are people who didn't realize how close they were to when they gave up. Right? So if you feel like you're just getting to that point where like, I'm done, I'm frustrated, I'm whatever, like pushing through that may be the key, right? Getting through that next part. So I don't mean to add like a motivational piece to all of this, but to me, that's I think about that, right? To get to the next thing. If I don't understand something, I'm really frustrated, really stuck, it might be just the next thing that I learned. So anyway, I like that one. And then I thought this was just funny. I don't know if you guys have seen this. Which one's right? This one? Okay, really? You can't cover legs. It's a ladder. It's this one? Yeah. Oh, these are arms. I was like walking around.
The only way.
Don't typically.
Well, if they're like reaching out and pulling out the cover, like they, when you're just getting on.
Moving on. All right, guys, take a 15-minute break, and we'll see you at 8:25.
Alright, so I'm just working, but yeah, so now you have to introduce something called
Did it work? Oh, yeah.
So then I.
Could you do this prompt? Or what type of, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I didn't come for like.
Okay, there you go. And you don't need it. Oh.
Oh, I guess, oh wait, oh, no, I got it.
Yeah. All right.
I like it. That should work. Yeah, go for it. Be wrong though. If you're wrong, you're wrong, right? I just want to. Oh, yeah. That's why. This is what they.
That is ugly.
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm definitely agreeing. So, this actually. Check this out. So, they can do something. Pass it in. So
That's actually changing the forward.
Right, you're changing it within the structure as well, and then you kind of get some, get rid of some redundancy as well. It's kind of like outside function, its own.
Oh, okay. So I get what you're saying now.
Yeah.
So it's not, it's changing the actual object itself.
Yeah, it's a reassigning it. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to assign it back. So yeah, that's exactly how. That's the worst part. Just to simplify.
I don't know.
Yeah, you're almost there. So now you're gonna do hit points or defense or whatever.
Why now?
Well, no, yeah. But yeah, it's inside the constructor.
Oh, so it's not.
Here, what you is what you're gonna pass in. So with that, and you're using. Yeah, don't do that unless you understand. Otherwise, just say character 2 equals character 2 minus. I just want you to get hung up on it. Look at it later. And then this attack. They're not strength. So, yeah. And then, you understand what's happening?
Yeah, that's the initial defense. Getting that
This,
defense,
right.
take away that attack, and then reassigning that in the option.
Yeah, so let's dump the attack. Get rid of that line. No, we're going to have to do it. So now you're saying let's have a character hack another character. So let's have Glenn. Let's type in
Okay, do you want?
attack. Right? And then parentheses. Who's going to attack? That's how it works. So now, Mark's going to get different on that.
Do I have to console?
Well, sure. Let's console log of Mark's like Oh, yes, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Sorry, man. Yeah, well, now, we're talking stories.
Oh.
So, but if you wanted to pull in fight Mark and then maybe have people do those lines. and then paste them. Then you have two attack. You can see this one. Yeah. So, and then you might want to check to see if they're alive. So whatever. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's really cool, though. I think.
It makes sense when when you were saying like the attack.
Yeah, you have to actually say it. That's you know what I mean. You can't do more clear. Once you say that part, right? But up here, okay, what's going on? Like, okay, this character is going to be attacking. So what is that? So you're passing it. Returning it. So. Yeah. Yeah. There we go.
I don't know why I didn't do it with this.
Hey, it worked through you definitely got the. Yes. Ooh, check this out. Yeah, I mean, it's not. Like, working it all. Oh,
I don't know.
no, here's what I don't want. Because there's nothing that says what's being passed. Right? This is actually whatever the is. Check it out. What if we did this? This. Right? So now what we're going to do. Not just we're going to pass this in. Who's going to attack you? Let's say we almost like reset that right over. So to check out what's happening, so what we're doing is right there. We're passing it to Robin as character. So now it's going to be Robin. Robin's here. That is. Yeah. So no. Yeah. So what this is? All this is going on. This function. Right. The parameters are this object.
Oh, I defined it there.
You can find it here. I'm just saying, hey, you said
Characters. Yeah, I get it now. I get it.
So I would say yeah, also wrong. Robin. Yes, you can see what that looks like, and I get rid of it. This is oh, right.
I want to Yeah, just also the rag. So now we all we have it. And then let's see what play. Yeah, I got that last time. Oh, yeah. I had money. Oh, yeah, no, that's right. So, yeah, I mean, so that's how you want to do it. Now you can see that back at the problem, right? You're gonna love it back. So you do any of that.
So question, all right, so like, so when I do.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So awesome. Oh, right.
It's so funny. I wrote this last night, and this is exactly how I would like it. I did just stop. I just didn't like. Here's all the sad speed, but I love right now. Way
There we
more.
go.
Oh, yeah, this is great. Oh, what's it? Yeah.
Tell me if I can.
Okay, you do. Oh, you're in. You. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah. What color are you? It's that's what. It's really, Oh, yeah. I thought that would be really. You have committed to this folder? So you'll choose. Oh, hello. Well. Yeah. Okay. So. I'll wear it. So. I'm not. What? Yeah, this is so what the problem is. Yeah, so we're right now on how to define it. That's like how this doesn't show. So what I would do is I would call this back to the folder wherever you want what's out there. Write it down. Yeah, well let me make sure. So let's put it. Okay, so this is all you is that it? Wow, that's $1. Oh, that's $4. Okay, that's let's do this. Okay, so now this you're right. Okay, so let's do this. Just so you know, right, I would say one, but I would say here. That's what I'm saying. Let's do and let's call it. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm gonna bring them outside. So, make a new
well, to that point, so we follow the same pattern. Wow. So the question that the function
we don't want
in each case, how do you make sure that outside, because right now, I am in the but I in there is probably two at once. I got to push to. Okay, I'm flying. Yeah.
Let's go to sports photo. Now we have to that's okay. Here.
I don't get started because one of the yeah.
I really like to. See if this works.
Take a while.
You should be whenever we all let's take a while. Oh, yeah, yeah. Boring.
So these no matter how you do it, it's what
I never called it.
Sorry, oh, you did that?
I thought I did.
That's. Well, I have no idea.
Right?
So,
I don't know why we're
where are we?
calling it.
What was that? You have another one.
So that's where I got. Because eternity. Okay, so.
I know what happened.
It's some longish, move.
That's why.
Oh.
I
That's where I get
yeah. So deleted attack. So because I'm like, I like, yeah, but it,
Where here?
Right. Right is not pitch it. No, there's like a. I can That's the problem. Yeah. You're fine.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Well, there's obviously some we have something that's top level.
Well, yeah,
It's on your desk. So it's,
okay, that happened to me. And then, yeah, that's it.
We'll have to look at that.
Okay. Everybody get a nice break? Semi, I guess. All right, guys, big power clap. All right. Did we all get, I know, I was like, one more time? All right. How do we feel about Constructors System 5? Basically stuff. I've seen like half the class. How do we feel about Constructors System 5? Everybody. If there's a 4s out there, we'll keep moving. If there's a 3 out there. All right. I think we're basically pretty solid. We can work on it afterwards as well. So, what do you guys think? How do we add a unique property or message to a constructed object? So, how would I do that? If I'm going to say, I have my characters, I built all these, and I want one character to have a superpower of some sort, let's say, right? So we have all our defined properties within our constructor, right? We're like, oh, hit points, attack, all this stuff, right? And maybe I want one of the characters, like a wizard, right, to have a special property that would be only to him. How do you think they'd do it? Do it? Just add it in there. Yeah. Well, anybody know for sure? Yeah. Is that what's? Yeah. All right. So I still have my cat dog information up here, right? So if I was going to say I have the animal cat, do I want to use this one? Let's use this one. Okay. So I'm going to say, well, now I've defined the dog object, right? So I'm going to say, let's do this. I'll do dogs dot. What do dogs have that cats don't? I mean, really. Oh, Brady. So, all right. Let's, does everybody see what I did there? All right, wait, hold on. Let's get there. Okay. Oh, all right. What do dogs have that cats don't? Anybody? Do they have a no, I mean like, huh? Oh, obedience. Okay, let's do that. I don't know how to spell it though. Affectionate. I can spell that. Affection. Affection's fine. We're there. We're ready at the party. All right. So now what happens if I decide I'm going to call, let's get rid of this. Okay. So, can you guys see it? Is it too small? Is it good? Let me go back a couple of these. That's big. Okay. So what happens if I decide I'm going to, I console log the dog's affection? What do you guys think will be returned? Sure. What happens if I say cat's affection? That's not a number. How many people think it's going to be undefined? Raise your hand. How many people think it's going to be null? Raise your hand. How many think it's going to be tail? Raise your hand. Brady? You're still red. I don't know. You think Karen made a meow or something? Karen, I haven't heard any noises from your laptop at all lately. Oh, that's a shame. That's good. Oh, whoa. Oh, I changed it back. Sorry, thank you. Okay, yes. Cat's out affection. I was like, whoa, that showed up. Yeah, right. So we can add on specific properties into it. Just showing that as an example. So there is a way that we can, I don't know if I want to get into this yet. Okay. In a little bit, I'm going to show you guys the next step of this where we can actually add on new properties to the original constructor. So we'll get on that towards the end of the class, but let's jump into this here first. Where's my little, oh, I left my thing. You guys ready for that? You ready for that? Where's my little, oh, there it is. So can anybody think of some uses why we'd want to do unique properties other than tail unique things? Anything? No? All right. Well, sure. I mean, there's going to be situations where objects aren't necessarily going to be consistent, right? It's not always going to be perfect, but for the majority of stuff, maybe you could find a use for a constructor. Whereas instead of creating an entire new object, it would be completely redundant. You can find enough similarities to validate using a constructor. That makes sense? You guys? All right. So it's definitely a time and place situational type thing, like when to use this and when not to. Cool. Cool. Let's see. Well, I don't really want to cover that. Let's jump on. You guys want to do another activity? Was that last one super fun? Did anybody make anything really cool and different out of theirs that they want to share with the group? Do anyone volunteer anything? Well, I really like what Virginia did, and so I'm gonna embarrass you real quick. You don't care, do? Awesome. So with her, oh, I wish I had your code. Can you slash me your code quick? In the lesson plan, they kind of covered going through separate. When we were displaying the stats, the print stats, we showed individually each stat, and it wrote out in a console log, name is this, hit points are that, and in the actual example, and DJ did it too. but what was really cool about it, I thought, was the fact that we were able to make it so we could print only specific items. Do you have me there? Got it? Sweet. Oh, can you guys see that? Do you want to put in something different? All right. Cool.
So I thought this was really creative. Virginia was able to decipher, hey, one of these things, I'm going to loop through all the properties and display them, right? I can display them nicely, do like cool stuff. Or, yeah, check it for a function, right? Just saying, hey, this is going to be a function, this type, this property, so I'm not going to show that when I show the stats. I thought that was a really creative way to do it, because if you're doing the attack, you're doing the is alive, or you're doing any of these other functions, they won't show up. But what will show up are the properties that you are setting within it. So anyway, I wanted to show that. I thought that was a super impressive way to handle that. Does everybody get what's going on there? Good. Cool. Anything else anyone wants to share? I'll put it up. You did something cool. Ready? No? Good. Just send it. Yeah, you're sending them. You gotta recover anyway from your tail comment. No, your score is like a 3 right now. Yeah, so let's get it back. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay.
I wish. Is there any way to like copy and paste all this, or is it? Oh man, geez, Bray. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know if I can download this much to my computer. That's good. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and rewrite over this. Sorry, guys, one sec. Oh, screw it, I'm using it. Do it wrong. Fine. All right. Holy crap, dude.
Okay, so how would that work then?
So when you bind this, it gives that other function outside of it, this of the object.
Uh-huh.
So I can just call this function outside of it.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's cool.
So where's the fill arena example then? Do you have any then? Okay, so the one that you chose, and then player side the.
I would push this to this. But all the
Okay. Yeah, that's super creative. I mean, anytime we can try to learn new techniques and new functions like that, and find a way to use it, that's awesome.
You have to see it in practice. Anybody else have anything cool they want to share? You have like 1,000 different properties. No tails that one. Yeah. Sure. Right. Right.
So you're saying in a sense where I have the make noise here instead of saying like make noise, cat make noise, dog make noise. Uh-huh. Create a function that does it? Okay. And then pass something to it or whatever? Okay. So you're saying I can bind it up here. Okay, so okay, so what would be the advantage of doing that other than just creating the function within here? But right, but couldn't I just say something like couldn't I? But couldn't I use multiple? Obviously, there's a million ways to do it. But couldn't I just pass particular parameters into this? That way, I could say, yeah, cat make noise only in certain conditions, and then I can reuse the constructor that the one inside it, to have a lot more flexibility, right? I mean that's the truth. I mean you can give this to 100 different developers and get 100 for sure. I mean, it's true. But yeah. So what am I? Uh-huh. I follow you. Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, that would work then, right? That makes sense. Let's see. Okay. No, but yeah, we can do it. Oh, cool. Well, yeah. All right. Well, sure. I mean, I don't see. Yeah. I mean, I'm still kind of struggling with the reason behind it, but I mean, I think you can certainly do it that way. I mean, I'd have to see like a bunch of different cases of where that would make more sense, I guess. So that you don't have. Sure. Sure. Okay, so if you have different constructors and you wanted to be able to use them, sure. Well, okay, for all intensive purposes of this class and Saturday's class, don't do this. Because I don't want you guys to get confused. Honestly, we'll get here. We'll totally all get here together. And I'm glad we shared it. It's important, Tim. You get it. You was totally 100% ready. You understand. But I think for all intents and purposes, like let's keep it within the confines of the constructor, just to keep things simple. Because this totally makes sense, and I love this solution, and we're using multiple different constructors. But in this context, we're using one. We need one constructor, and then we're going to use one function that controls them. This is right, and it's awesome, and that makes total sense. But I would say just let's get there, in a sense, together. Dude, bro. Oh yeah, hey, 7. 7.
Five's a good one.
Well, we got 4 more. Yeah, you got 7. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody, Brady's got 7 points. So that's good. All right, let's move on. Very cool. Nice job, Brady. Let's do Tamagotchis. Do you guys remember what Tamagotchis? Did anybody have one? Who raised their hand had one? Did 3 of us have one? Really? Huh? Well, how many know what they are? Did anybody know what they are? All right. Okay. So yeah, there's like little digital pets that you can play with, right? You can tell to go outside. You can feed it. It'll yell at you if you don't feed it for a while. There's a bunch of other things. So, I don't know if we want to build a pet rock app. Do nothing. Do nothing. Yeah, no. There's a couple of things around Tamagotchi, right? Like you could do. I don't know. They were like Furby, sort of, but not quite as scary. But they bothered you, right? They give you a tone, they beep. I barely remember them. I don't know. Those maybe you have a better description than I do, but I remember they yell at you and tell you to feed them. You have to hit the button. Like, hey, I fed my Tamagotchi. Other things. You go outside. What, Kristen? You feel like you're an expert on here? What? It was a little LCD screen, right? You could do like, yeah, it's like what was it called, like a page, but yeah, they came on like a keychain. And yeah, they're a lot of fun. So what we're gonna do is build a Tamagotchi. So to go outside, do all kinds of fun stuff. Do you want to slide out the instructions? I didn't have room for all of them again because it's pretty long. So a Tamagotchi is like a digital pet, and you can, and it needs to be fed, needs to be let outside, needs to be certain things. So it's a little digital toy from like what, 30 years ago, 20 years ago. 90. Okay, it's like 20 years ago. Huh? Well, it's not a problem. I'll give you an explanation. Here's the explanation. It was like a dumb little toy with a little screen on it with a little character, right? And you could feed it, and you could tell it to go outside, and you could go. So what we're gonna do with this Tamagotchi is we're gonna have a property of like hungry, right? Your Tamagotchi can be hungry. Your Tamagotchi can be sleepy. Will be another property. It can be bored, right? It can have an age, right? I think I remember Tamagotchis aging after time. Didn't they get older like they were babies? They get bigger, yeah, after time, right? Your Tamagotchi can die, I guess, if you don't feed it. Maybe you can make a method of feed, right? You can make a method, a function. You can make a function that says like, go to sleep, go play outside, an increase age function method, right? Yeah. So that's it. We'll walk through it afterwards. Did you suck out the instructions? Awesome. Cool, man. Yeah. Let me know if you guys have any questions that might be good for the group. I didn't build this one, so. You guys good? Makes sense? All right, yeah, feel free to use other constructors to help build this. Bray, did you use your other character, your app that you were working on before? Yeah, that's awesome. I was like, there's a ton here. I think so. Yeah, that's sweet. No, it's super cool. Like, man, you just wrote like 300 lines. Good. I thought this one was kind of hard. No, you're on your own. Man. Jeez.
I haven't seen anybody not forget to view the declaration using the mute. That's awesome. Hey, Monty, I'm just saying. This is a that's great. Maybe it's great. You're saying, but if I want to change it, what did I do in the digital now? I'm talking. I looked at the well, new. Right? I do that. Well, but in that object, you start trying to find what was so then I can this set without yeah, I mean, this morning, that's the right structure. No, I
The probably be the way to go. The basic structure is like functions in the thing. You effectively have
This is the all down that. So if I just take it, you. I can describe that. Okay. Oh, down here. So, like, I want this. I want that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can also do like this it's as equals a function. Oh, yeah.
Oh, so that's like. Yeah, I put down on the line.
Let's just do something like let's just do console.
You do this, you do this, right? Yeah. And whatever was in here. It's on. That's it. By default. So, whatever you set it, you change it, doing something. What's true? So.
It's the so like right here, we're creating a new God, we're referencing that. Out here, we want to have it instead of we can just say this. Because we've set that already.
Right, so yeah, that's the first house.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I guess.
Maybe just like online, maybe dot stats. So so we'll use yeah, let's try that.
You just turn on the sound. This one. Or do I feed me with those?
So it's like so the first time we called it direct. Second time. But in this case. Oh. I think that's right. What happened? But we expected. That's what I like. Oh, yeah. We expected but then also we're running gas. It is what it's called. Yeah, well, yeah. So that pirate is kind of creating it's this function. Yeah, so each person the same way that have a first name, they also have access to this one. All of that. Yeah. Stats. Also. So each time we're doing, it's like we're creating a new bucket. What we know, don't worry about side three. Yeah, you can call, you can say like, our other pirate. Yeah, let's do it. Let's just. Yeah, let's just like copy. I'll give it like some different. Since we creating a new person, what the name be? We can actually call it.
Oh. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. You're saying here, ages. Oh, right.
So, all right. Here, I'm creating, I'm gonna go with this.
Yeah. Well, because you want to know,
All right, but how do you change what it says here?
Oh. Like. Not even flying it. Oh, you're using this. Right.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you probably change.
I'm glad you didn't set falls, so it says. Yeah. So let's look at the company that we just wrote. So imagine this is like stuff. Oh, we have access to the same property inside of the object. So we call the maybe this dot is an array will be equal to the property of the name dot. It's referencing the same value. So we could say this dot array equals false. And then whenever we look at the name array, so remember more explicitly with all the animation. So like here, if we said maybe that print tabs, this step first name equals Steve. And then after that, and you would expect that this step first name Steve. Change this. So we could even do that. Yeah, I see that. Yeah. So after that comes another one. Let's see. This first name.
This is.
It's fairly new. I probably had it. Yeah, here, let's do a console.log on the next one. Yeah, I mean, I haven't, it's just the but I have.
No.
Then let's see what all those stats. That was what we have so far. I mean, then after we so the name is Steve. Yeah. Are they starting to more? Because like you can somebody else. If we wanted to only set in this case, we only wanted to say the stuff Steve when the first name is Steve. We could say this stuff first name exclamation point equals does not equal. Have you had any check this before yet? So if the current person is their first name is an equal, just like Oregon. Yeah, that's a problem. Yeah. I think there's this new butterfly inside of there. That's what that's it. I'm gonna try. Okay. So okay. If you can just like send another email and we'll send it to another person. Oh, gotcha. Just to follow up, I would also send but if you're requesting to there, so I'll send her an email.
So every single one. Visually.
This is tricky. Like the constructor is and like new instances of things. But it seems like
So age, for example.
I'll get it one round.
Yeah, let me know if you have questions.
So now, so when we facility, let's give facility stadium. Is it a facility that is-
That's,
Where is this place?
it's a very don't know trying to use. But here, I wonder. See here, functional which prints all of the care. You know, how do you use console? So this one.
So how you assign all these characters?
This is how you do it. Like the first one. This function was same as my course that I'm third. What I can do is call this rate.
So you're going to tell us Adam.
Steve, there is no Steve, and I was asking. So, second case is what this is. Right. That part of that's part of the function. I was asking about the set.
And when you fashion.
That's what
Oh, and then two.
Right.
Hey guys, real quick before you go, how far did you get? How many got completed with their application? Fist of 5. Awesome. How many are almost done? Okay. Yeah, feel free to work on that if you have time. I know you guys got other stuff to do. I want to show you one more concept. One real quick concept before we go. And I don't know where I put it. Hold on. Where did I put it? Okay. It's okay. Super quick. Park up. All right. I just want to cover this. We're not going to go too deep into it, but let's say, right? I wanted to add a new property to the constructor, right? There's really no way to do it unless I want to handle it individually, right? I just say cat has a tail, dog has a tail, right? All these have a tail after constructor. Unless I use prototypes. So if I say animal.prototype.tail equals true, then all of the animals will have this new property. You guys with me? This could be a function. Well, right? But it works the same way as it would work as if it was in the actual constructor. Yeah.
Would animals created before that line have tails?
Would they have tails? No. No, you're right. Right. So if I was a console log here, it'd be undefined. Yeah. Good question. That's right. Yep. Yep. All right. Gosh, jeez, thank you. What time is it? See, this is why I need coffee after like. Yes, is that right? Right. So, sorry, I'm keeping you guys. I'm sorry. I hope you guys got a pretty good grasp on this. Honestly, it's gonna be fun to do this on Saturday because I know you guys got a super good hang on all this. So we have fun. All right, let's see. What am I doing? Oh, can you guys see it? Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. Any other questions about that? Go ahead, Kenny.
Oh, no, I don't. I was pitching a crazy idea.
Yeah. So anyway, that's how prototype is used. Really, it's not all that much more complicated than this. I'm able just to say the constructor, not prototype. Prototype is used in a lot of ways we're going to learn coming up soon. But this particular method is relatable to constructor in this sense and object. There's going to be other features we're going to learn, but I just want you to be familiar with this in this context. Cool? Everybody good? Awesome. Cool, guys. Thanks. Good power clap.
Yeah.